There's finally a new quarterback in New York. The NFL draft rumors are beginning to swirl, and the NBA playoffs are just heating up. This is the Rival Fantasy Podcast. Let's talk about it.
You are now listening to the Rival Fantasy Sports Podcast. Let's go.
Aaron Rodgers is officially, not a rumor, not him going on a show and talking about it, not us speaking about it. He is officially a New York Jet. The trade was done. The Jets and Packers have made the trade. Let's go ahead and bring up the details of the trade so we can kind of look it over really fast. If you see here on the graphic, the Jets, they receive, of course, Aaron Rodgers. That's the big acquisition here. They also get they're swapping first round picks in 2023, so they get pick 15 in the first round, and the Packers take pick 13. So not a big swap there. And then the Jets get a fifth round pick also this year. The Packers on the other end, if you're a Packers fan, you're wondering now, what did we get for our Hall of Fame quarterback? Like I said, you swap picks in the first. You also get a second round pick in the 2023 draft. This is happening tomorrow. And then you got a 6th round pick in this draft. And of course, a conditional 2nd round pick. This one's the interesting one. It's a conditional 2nd rounder. If you see the details here on the screen, the 2nd rounder becomes a 1st round pick if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the plays. So you have to assume, bar an injury, that's going to happen. In theory, the Jets are going to pick a little earlier in the 1st round this year. They'll also get a 1st rounder next year once that conditional pick turns into a 1st rounder. They also picked up a 2nd rounder this year and a 6th rounder. So not bad, right? I mean, if you're a Jets fan, you're thinking this isn't too bad, right? Like we just swapped picks in the 1st round. We threw in another 1st rounder, threw in a 2nd rounder. So if Aaron Rodgers can get us through the playoffs, whether it's to a Super Bowl, really deep in the playoffs, whatever the case may be, this is going to feel like a win for the Jets, I believe, in terms of what they gave up. Now, on the Packers side, right? I mean, you get a little earlier of a pick. You get another 1st round pick next year for him. You get a 2nd round pick this year, which isn't bad. The 6th rounder, whatever. The 5th and 6th, I'm not paying too much attention to them. But overall, you feel like you got a decent haul as a Packers fan. This is two different situations, though. The Jets feel like they're a playoff team. They feel like they feel like they're a Super Bowl team, and they were a quarterback away in their eyes, which was now Aaron Rodgers. The Packers on the other side, you're now kind of starting over, right? You got Jordan Love as your quarterback, and these picks are just going to help you build around him. Hopefully they build around him. People say for years he complained about not getting wide receivers early in the draft. Well, they have the option to do so now for Jordan Love. We'll see if they do it. It'll be interesting, whether they actually, decide to go that route. As I mentioned, though, this changes things for the Packers. Jordan Love era in Green Bay is here. And this is going to be interesting. We know who Aaron Rodgers is. Even if he's not who he once was, he's an older guy now. Even if he's not who he once was, we still know that he's a playoff capable quarterback, Super Bowl capable quarterback. He hasn't lost that, right? So as long as you have a team around him, a defense, offensive weapons, offensive line protecting him, he's capable of doing that. With the Packers and Jordan Love, we don't know. We do not know what Jordan Love is. We honestly don't. Like we know what we think he is. We know what we know he's capable of and what we think he can be, but we don't exactly know whether he's gonna be able to pick up this mantle and run with it, or if there's gonna be struggles for the Packers. This is if you're I actually had tweeted this out. If you're a fantasy fan, from a fantasy perspective, Jets players stock is up. Packers stock is down, and it's not like the end of the world for the Packers for their players. So if you have them in Dynasty, or if you're drafting in redraft, or if you're just using them in DFS, even for instance on Rival, you're not panicking about the Packers players, but you have to acknowledge the step down, right? From Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. You have to acknowledge the unknown in terms of what Jordan Love is going to do, how well he's going to work with Watson, how well he's going to work with Romeo, how well the running backs are still going to produce, because you had this situation where you would think the running backs would do better, right? Like they take away Aaron Rodgers, but is Jordan Love going to get these guys in the red zone as much as Aaron Rodgers did? Is he going to be able to carry the team on his back to get them in that situation? Is he going to keep defenses honest? These are things Aaron Rodgers did that made it easier for the running backs, right, to score a bunch of points and have open lanes, open opportunities. Now without him there, teams don't respect Jordan Love as much. They may say, "Go ahead and beat us with Jordan Love. Prove it." You know what I mean? So in that situation, it makes the running back situation a little more difficult for Green Bay, as well as the exciting young wide receivers that they have. We know they played good with Aaron, last year, but will that carry over? Will they do better? Will Jordan Love be able to, feed one wide receiver, two wide receivers? We don't know. So we'll see how this all plays out. We'll even see how the Packers offense, how their play calling adjusts to having no more Aaron Rodgers, right? Like you have this quarterback now that can he do everything exactly how you did it with Aaron Rodgers, or are you going to adjust? You assume they'll adjust in some way, shape, or form. So this is an interesting situation in the video here of Aaron Rodgers arriving in New York. Of course, they're all excited. They're all happy. Woody Johnson had tweeted this out earlier today. So yeah, this is an interesting situation. It's officially done. We'll see how it plays out. Hopefully, well wishes to both teams, right? Aaron Rodgers plays well. The Jets are a playoff team. They get to go far, further than they have recently. On the other side, the Packers, Jordan Love hopefully comes to fruition, what they hope he does. I mean, think about this. This is a guy who sat behind Aaron Rodgers for what, 3 seasons? So he got to learn, he got to watch, he got to appreciate and understand how someone of Aaron Rodgers, abilities operates. And while we may joke about Aaron Rodgers and how difficult he is to work with, or how strange he is, or how he handles certain situations, and you could judge the Packers organization and how they handle things during, the Aaron Rodgers time there, but in reality, it still doesn't matter. Jordan Love sat behind and got to work with someone of Aaron Rodgers' ability. And so that's important when you have a young quarterback. And we don't do that often anymore, right? Like nowadays, a quarterback gets drafted and you expect him to start from day one, or you expect him to start by midseason, or by maybe his second year, you want him starting. In this case, the Packers did not rush to that. They did not rush to getting Jordan Love out there. Sure, he got some snaps, but they didn't rush him out there like to get Aaron Rodgers out of the way. So he had all the time to develop. This will not be a situation where you go, well, he needs time. We need to see. No, he's had all the opportunity to mature, grow, learn the system, learn how a Hall of Famer moves, trains, practices, works, leads. He's seen it all. So he has all that now. So he really should be able to come out from day one of the 2023 season, week one, and operate this offense. He should be able to do so. So this is not a wait and see approach with Jordan Love and the Packers. It's just, hey, let's hope Jordan Love can do for us what Aaron Rodgers did. And obviously, by the Packers giving up on, not giving up, but trading Aaron Rodgers at this point, you have to assume they feel comfortable in moving on, right? So will they add a quarterback? Who knows? Maybe. Will they draft one? Who knows? Maybe. But at the end of the day, you have to think, you have to believe that they believe in Jordan Love, because that's the one that they have in-house right now that they've been developing for years. So you have to feel pretty good about that. Again, in redraft and dynasty, don't like give up on the Packers players, right? Like if you have Christian Watson, if you have Romeo Dobbs, if you have Jordan Love, I'm not saying give up Aaron Jones, I'm not saying give up on them. I'm just saying that be realistic, temper your expectations, understand that there's a chance that there's going to be, you know, it's not going to be as smooth as it was under Aaron Rodgers, and you can't come to expect exactly what you got from Aaron Rodgers. That is it for the Aaron Rodgers Jet situation. I do want to talk a little bit about some more football, but that is on topic 2. So now what the rest of us NFL fans are really excited about is the NFL draft. Depending on when you're watching this, the draft may be happening. It may not have happened yet. It may have already happened. It may be over. I don't know when you're watching this, but we're right there is what I'm saying. We're right there in the moment. It's tomorrow, according to the time of this recording. As of this recording, the NFL draft is tomorrow. Let's go ahead and just pull this up for you guys. So the NFL draft, Thursday, April 27th, 8 p.m. It starts in Eastern time, which is the only time that matters. Friday, April 28th starts at 7, and Saturday, April 29th, it starts at 12 or noon, basically. So these are the times for the NFL draft. If you're watching, obviously, I'm a super into the NFL draft. I'm a diehard. I love every second of it. Not even just for my favorite team, right? Like I love watching where all the rookies go, how things change in fantasy. I'm big into fantasy, big into dynasty, big into DFS. So I can like a player and then not like where he lands, or I can not like a player as much, but love where they land. So I'm really into the whole process. Plus, you just like seeing young guys who have, busted their ass in college get the payoff, the reward by making it to the NFL, living their dream. All this stuff is just great, right? It's all fun. There's no negative moment per se. Even when a player drops from where they were expected, I don't care. That doesn't like, while it probably bums them out, it doesn't, it's still, you're still living your dream, right? At the end of the day, you got to put that into reality. So now the thing is here, when the NFL draft comes around, leading up to it, there's lots of talk, right? All the mock drafts, all the college research, all the play watching, all the data. the combine, all these things are transpiring, and everyone's kind of, throwing out there where they think players are going to go, what's the perfect fit, what teams are liking which players, what are the team needs, all these things are happening. But what starts to happen as we get really close to the draft, like the week of, like where we're at right now, is all the rumors, all the stories, all the smoke screens to throw teams off, right? It's not really to throw fans off because what do they care about what we think or what we talk about? But they do care about what the media talks about. They do care what we're talking about on YouTube, on podcasts. They do know that while we don't make the pick, that the media in some way, shape, or form does sort of influence the draft. It sort of influences player values, perceived values, this new mental test on how, quarterbacks react and how quickly they make decisions.
Does it matter? Does it not matter?
Do some teams care about it? Are some teams putting too much stock in it? All these kind of things are also media driven, but the teams use the media as like a vehicle for the rumors that they want to put out, the players that they want teams to think less of, the players that they want you to think, teams to think more highly of. That stuff is definitely going on, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. These NFL draft conspiracies, these conspiracies are definitely happening. One of the big ones right now, one of the big rumors that are, taking place, being discussed, being talked about, is the Will Levis situation. This article at NBC Sports, I'm going to read straight from it. You can read it yourself here if you prefer to hear it in your voice. We've officially reached silly season in the NFL draft process, just days out from Carolina Panthers officially on the clock. Will Levis has suddenly gained significant steam as a betting favorite to be the number one overall pick, which is ridiculous. If you've been paying attention to this process the whole time, it's absolutely ridiculous, right? The idea of Will Levis being the number one pick over Bryce Young, even over CJ Stroud, even over a lot of the other players on defense that are out there, it's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. But however, this is where, things get interesting. Will Levis is not pick number one worthy. And so you have to start asking yourself, is this a team putting this smoke screen out because they like Will Levis? Can't be, right? Because why would you tell people he's better than he is? So it has to be a team that either wants other teams to jump up for him to get him out of the way for them, let one of their players fall to them. Is it an agent trying to get his player more money? Is it a family member? What is going on here? What is driving this, this conversation right now that was never being had? The idea of Will Levis being drafted number one never existed till right now, right? Till right now. So you're asking why? What is driving this conversation? And again, we go back to this article here. If you see here on Tuesday morning, Reddit user sale agreeable 2834 posted in the sportsbook subreddit that Levis has been telling friends and family he's going to get picked by Carolina. The post, which accumulated well over 1,000 upvotes, read, Will Levis currently plus 4,000 to be the first overall pick. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he's telling friends and family Carolina will in fact take him on Thursday. You're welcome. Literally, that is what drove this conversation, which drove the odds bettors to change the chance of Will Levis being drafted number one. All these things adjusted because of this. And now you ask yourself, how would this get out? Like, how is this real? Because somebody could just make this up on Reddit. Doesn't have to be any kind of verification, right? So like this person really may know Will Levis, they really might not. There's no way to actually prove that. However, let's just say someone, you know, cooked this up to get this out. Why? Why would this happen? You would think it's a team at the top that wants someone to either trade up for their pick, right? Because they want to make sure they can get Will Levis or one of the other quarterbacks who may fall. It could be Will Levis, his agent, somebody trying to drum up interest in him more, trying to raise his stock, his value. Why not? I mean, I can't knock it. I can't knock the game if that's what they're trying to pull. Either way, these are the kind of things that come out right before the draft. The whole, Jalen Carter situation where people were like, "Oh, the Raiders have taken him off their draft board." Like, did the Raiders say that? Because they didn't. If you go and check any kind of, if you try to fact check it in any way, articles, reports, the Raiders themselves have continually said they did not take anyone off their draft board. So these are the kind of things that start to happen, right? Anthony Richardson had all his hype from the combine. Then you wonder, hey, are people pumping this because they want someone to come up and get Anthony Richardson? Who knows, right? So this is fun. This is fun. I like all this kind of stuff. I know a lot of people get bothered by it. They don't like it. They don't like the conspiracy theories. They don't like the drama and all this, that happens at this time of the season, but I love it. This all adds into it. I am big storyline guy. I love storylines. I love narratives. I like the stories, right? Like I love stories. So it doesn't always have to be true. It doesn't always have to be rooted in fact. I just like when stuff like this happens. So whoever caused this, thank you. You gave us a great conversation to be had. However, I hope the NFL draft for you, whether it's already happened when you're watching this or if it hasn't, I hope it goes out well for your team. I hope you like the way it played out for you guys. I'm a Raider fan, as I've said here many times. So I'm open to all possibilities. The Raiders have plenty of holes to fill. I'm curious what you think your favorite team should do with their first pick. Drop it down in the YouTube comments below. We chop it up with all of you guys. No comment goes unresponded to. We can promise you that. And we also may use your comments in future videos, social media posts, things like that. So understand that your YouTube comment below this video may create future dialogue on content that we create or just to have future conversations. Sometimes those comments you make, you post them and think nothing of them and they get crazy in there, guys. So I really love it. I appreciate you guys for always interacting. But let me know what you think your team should draft with their first round draft pick. On to the third topic that I want to discuss with you guys this week. NBA playoffs has been lit. It's been crazy. It's been fun. I don't care whether your team is doing well. I don't care if you don't have a team in it. Every team has had moments, right? So even if a team is knocked out already at this point, there's been some fun moment, some highlight for your team, something to feel good about, something to build off of. As a Magic fan, my team is not in the playoffs. They weren't even in the play-in. However, we did have some positive news. We'll get to that in a second. But just overall, let's bring up the brackets here. Let's just go straight brackets on the screen. As you guys can see, Nuggets have advanced over the Timberwolves. They beat them 4-1. Timberwolves just seemed outmatched. They needed another score. Ant was amazing. I'm still questioning the whole Rudy Gobert trade. I'm not digging it. I think they gave up way too much for Rudy Gobert. It didn't look good initially, but it really doesn't look good here. Sure, you're thinking they got to the playoffs, Neil. Next year, maybe they go a little further. It's possible. It's possible, but I just think they might have given up way too much to get to where they're at. But for Rudy, but it's whatever, right? So Nuggets advanced there as expected. I'm not knocking the Wolves. They were the AC. This was, expected to happen, quote unquote, expected by the rankings. Suns advanced over the Clippers. The Clippers just ran into all kinds of issues, right? Paul George out, Kawhi Leonard out, Russell Westbrook again. Find the highlight. Find something to spotlight here. He really stepped up. A few other guys really stepped up, but again, not enough to stop the Phoenix Suns, who of course have Chris Paul. They have Kevin Durant. They have Devin Booker. They've just been rolling on all cylinders. This series wasn't even close. They run over the Clippers 4-1, so they advance. So it's actually Nuggets and Suns are the only true teams in the West that have advanced, and they're already, their matchup is lined up. The rest of the West, Kings Warriors is the only series left that's tied. It's tied 2-2. It's the most interesting series right now at this moment because of that. It's that close. Kings Warriors, who will pull out of this? We'll see, right? Is it the vets? The Warriors that we've been here before, the dynasty, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond, all these guys that are well established, right? They've formulated their place here. Or will it be the Kings, the new kids on the block? Could be either one. We'll see. Next series here, we got the Grizzlies and Lakers. Lakers lead 3-1. The Lakers are actually the underdogs here, right? Like they're the 7th seed. Grizzlies are the 2nd seed. They got all the young bulls, Ja Morant, Bane. They got Dylan Brooks out here trying to bully people, and it just ain't playing out that way. It ain't playing out how they wanted it to. LeBron has pushed back. The GOAT has pushed back. AD has pushed back. They've done their thing. I actually want to see the Lakers advance here. So Lakers, Warriors, that would be fun. Kings, I love the Kings, but just so much storylines. Again, the stories. There's so many stories with the Warriors and Lakers. That'd be so much fun. So I'd like to see Lakers and Warriors advance there. When we head over to the eastern side of the court here, the eastern side of the finals, we got Bucks and Heat. The Heat lead 3-1. Why? Because of guys like this. Jimmy Buckets Butler. That's JBB. Jimmy Bucket, 56 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists in their last game. This is the kind of thing you need if you want to overcome adversity, if you want to overcome the stand-ins, if you want to overcome the rankings, if you want to overcome, you got to play like Jimmy Buckets is. The guy is on fire. He's on fire, and he has the Bucks behind in the series. This is the kind of stuff that, listen, you got to live in these moments, right? You either step up, you rise to the occasion, or you don't. It's not all the Bucks' fault with Giannis being hurt. But the number one seed, the number one seed is potentially one game away right now. Not potentially, they are one game away from being knocked out of the final race, out of the playoffs, out of the playoffs. Whoever wins that game is going to want to face either the Cavaliers or the Knicks. The Knicks currently lead 3-1. It's fun. You know what I like about the Knicks? Their fan base is fun, right? Like their fan base is awesome. So, you get to watch these guys go crazy in the streets. They get the best social posts when they get excited. Like when you see these guys in the streets and the videos and on YouTube and on social, like they really are got to be one of the best fan bases in terms of personalities, right? Like they're just fun to watch. So the Knicks right now are running it up on the Cavs again. The Knicks were the lower seed in that case, but they are running it up 3-1 right now. And they're fun to watch. They're a fun team to watch. They're fun fans to watch. Spidey, don't you wish you would have came? Ain't you mad that you didn't come to New York? That stuff is funny. That stuff is funny. 76ers already advanced over the Nets, swept them. The only sweep in the first round. The only sweep in the first round. Do you think there will be a sweep in the second round? Do you think any team will get a sweep in the second round? I'm curious if you think so. If you think so, what team do you think would pull off the sweep in the second round? Drop it in the comments. Drop it in the comments. But 76ers sweep the Nets. It is what it is. They're going to play either the Celtics or the Hawks. Another sort of close series here. Celtics and Hawks. Celtics are the favorites, of course, they're second seed. But again, Hawks having some moments, rising to the occasion. They're down, they're not out. They're down, they're not out. And again, if your team, didn't advance or isn't looking like they're going to advance, there's still bright moments for every team. The NBA playoffs is a complete win for us fans. The NBA playoffs is a complete win for us fans. Let me repeat. The NBA playoffs is a win for fans. A lot of the best players in the NBA are here in the NBA playoffs. The best teams are here in the NBA playoffs. Exciting moments, game winners, buzzer beaters, big defensive moments, just highlight reels for days. The NBA playoffs is so exciting. It has been nothing short of amazing. I've been enjoying every single night of it. There has not been a one night where I wasn't absolutely satisfied with the results of the NBA playoffs. And again, I have no team in the race right now. I have no team in the race. I'm just enjoying the games. It's just a good product. It's just a great sport right now. I'm really enjoying it. And when I say that, it's again, we talk about these things and it's like, well, again, moments like this, right? Moments where, a guy like Jimmy Butler goes off for 56 points. He's carrying the team on his back. He's bringing the underdog team to the forefront. This is fun seeing players have their moments like this. I mean, obviously we already knew Jimmy Butler was good and capable of stuff like this, but it's just nice to see it. Again, similar situation in Atlanta, right? Trae Young knocking down a game winner at the buzzer. Like just phenomenal stuff to watch. Like, and Atlanta Hawks would be great social media. Who else? I mean, Trae is just cold. It just is what it is. He's a cold man out there, boy. And it's fun to watch. And these moments are just happening over and over, across the NBA playoffs. We can sit here for an hour and share, highlight reels and post about, what this player did statistically, what they overcame, who went all out, who carried the team on his back. These moments are just happening day in and day out. So it's a lot of fun. Again, maybe if you're the Nets, you're not that excited, right? You're the only team that got swept. Nothing really great, amazing happened. So yeah, in that case, yeah, somebody might came away with this way more unsatisfied than others. But it's been fun as a fan, as a general NBA fan, as a fan of basketball. It has been fun. One other thing, again, not NBA playoffs, but I just want an honorable mention here. As a Magic fan, I can't go without honoring Paolo Banchero for Rookie of the Year. Forget the votes. There was a couple people who didn't vote for him as their number one pick for Rookie of the Year. They voted for Kessler. Ridiculous. That's a conspiracy. That's a damn conspiracy because my boy definitely was a unanimous, you heard me, unanimous winner for the Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. I don't think it was on the table. I don't think it was an option. So shout out to Paolo. Again, this is great stuff, right? There's gonna be more and more players in the league like this that come into the league. This NBA draft coming up, there's more guys like Paolo. The league just keeps getting flooded with young, marketable, talented players. I love it. Good guys, good people, you know, role models for kids to, to aspire to be like, to mold themselves after, to carry themselves in a certain way. There's good guys out there, right? And they're young guys, so young guys are getting caught up in stuff that maybe make them look worse than they are, but that's okay. This is fun. Basketball, I guess what I'm trying to say is basketball is really fun right now. It's always fun, but I just want to highlight it because I feel like we don't highlight how good the NBA is sometimes, right? The way they handle, social matters. I like it. I appreciate it. I know some people aren't a fan of how they handle, social things that are happening in the world today, but I do like how they handle them for the most part. Just the sport in general is exciting. It's fun. The NBA playoffs is great. It's just a good product overall. Is there ways they can improve? Of course. There's ways every sport can improve. But I think it's one of the top tier sports in terms of, what we're looking at in terms of marketability, right? Like the athletes in the NBA are easily the most marketable, in my opinion. I think they're the most recognizable. I get on rants on here sometimes about Major League Baseball and how you wouldn't know any of the players. For the most part, if you brought a random person into a room, show them a bunch of baseball players, they wouldn't know who any of them are. it's just it's just a fact. Like, and it's crazy to me that it's that way, right? And I don't think it's because baseball is so unpopular. I just think they're missing something there with the connection to the culture, right? Like, they're missing something. Basketball hits it perfectly. Football does it decently well, but basketball does it the best, right? Or if you're into soccer internationally and everything, they do it really well. But again, basketball, I think, puts out a great product. I just want to make sure we recognize it. We don't just not acknowledge it. We have to acknowledge it, right? Like, it's just a great product. It really is. So those are my three storylines for this week that I wanted to make sure we talk about together. I want to discuss with you guys in the comments. I love discussing with you guys on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere you guys are a lot of fun. I'm having a great, listen, the rival audience is amazing. The users, the community. I love you guys. You guys are absolutely fantastic. And when we speak about it, because sometimes you guys are watching this maybe new to the show, you may not be aware of it, but Rival Fantasy is actually a daily fantasy sports platform as well. It's not just the show here that we do. So Rival Fantasy is a platform you can go on, you can play DFS basically, right? Like, we have challenges for NBA right now as well in the playoffs. You go on here, you could pick the side that you want, put the bet that you want, and accept it. Right now, someone has a $10 bet on John Morant just sitting out there waiting for you to take the other side, which is Donovan Mitchell. We also have social challenges where you can just get on there, create your own challenge. It doesn't have to be one that the system set up. Say your boy thinks Donovan Mitchell, he's a fan of Donovan Mitchell, he's a fan of the Cavs. He thinks he's good. You think he's not as good as, let's just say, Jalen Brunson, right? So now you go on there, you create the challenge, you go ahead and you pick your side. You're taking the Jalen Brunson side because your boy is a Donovan Mitchell fan. You submit the challenge, $10. Tell your boy, get on here, take the bet, put your money where your mouth is. You can send the link to him. You can share it to him, text messages, or on social. You can literally take this, post it on Twitter, post it on Instagram, post it wherever you frequent the most, and say, hey, who wants to take my challenge? If you don't want to create a challenge, again, you could just go through the system generated challenges. You could hit skip if you don't like the one that's in front of you and just keep switching through it. You can use the information tab. It shows you the player's recent scores. If challenges is not what you want to do right now, we also have fantasy bingo, which you just go on there, you buy bingo cards, you pick your lineup that you think can help fill in that card, and you just want to get bingo. Like, one line across, one line vertically, diagonal, horizontal, whatever the case is, you know how to play bingo. Get on there and play it. It's a really fun, unique, interesting game. And the last option is fantasy book, which again, this is fun because you're basically just picking over and unders on fantasy points. The cool thing is you can actually mix sports. So you can pick NBA players and then turn around and also put, Major League Baseball players, whoever you like, Aaron Judge, get on there, throw Mike Trout, and then you're just picking overs and unders on the fantasy points. It's very quick, easy way for you to, again, apply some of your sports knowledge, your fandom, and get in there and have fun with it. We really think that we offer great products on here that you'll enjoy. If you have any questions, let us know. You can sign up. If you use my promo code RIVAL, RIVAL, you'll actually get a protection on your first bet up to $50. So whether you're using it on fantasy book, whether you're using it on challenges, up to $50. If you lose, we will reimburse you for that. If you win, you keep the winnings. That's again, rivalfantasy.com. Or if you want to download the app, just open up the App Store, type in Rival Fantasy Sports, all three separate words, and the app will pop up, download it, sign up, use the promo code, get in there, have some fun. Other than that, please make sure if you've watched this long and you're not subscribed that you hit the subscribe button. It means the world to us. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm. Hit like on this video, share it, comment. Please comment. Most of all, comment, because I love just talking with you guys, chopping it up about sports. That's what we do here. All right, guys, that is it for me today. Again, rivalfantasy.com. I am Neil. This is Rival Fantasy Sports. We're out.